Well, we shouldn't forget what Vitor Pereira did last month, because he was Premier League Manager of the month, Perry Groves. 6 wins in a row, brilliant effort. Yes, they've lost their last 2, but the job was done to pull away from trouble long before there was any real concern about what April might look like.
Yeah, very much so. When he took over, Wolves were in danger of relegation, and people forget that as well. That run he went on, those 6 wins on the trot, for 3 of those games they was out in the Taz Pinya, because we was there, weren't we, at Bournemouth, when he had his sort of complete meltdown and reacted ridiculously and got his ban. Everybody thought, oh, Wolves could be in trouble. They won their next 3 on the trot, and Cunha didn't get him back in the side. So Vitor Pereira's done a brilliant job. Wolves are nice and safe. He's made 6 changes tonight, and you said there he's looking obviously what's happening next season. So this will be a game where both teams are nice and relaxed, but Wolves have got a really bad record in London. No clean sheets after 23 Premier League away games against London sides. So we're going to see goals.
And we're going to hear noise as well as see goals, I think, because they are ready to acclaim their heroes. The Palace players are standing at the mouth of the tunnel. Dean Henderson is there with his young daughter cradled in his arms, ready to lead out the Palace players onto the pitch.
And what I meant was, I meant see goals, not seagulls. You don't mention seagulls.
You don't mention seagulls around here.
That's so non grata.
I don't think anyone will hear you, even though you've got a microphone in your hand with this noise. It is a right old racket around Selhurst Park tonight. The DJ's going through the card, isn't he? Already had Free From Desire. It won't be long before you hear Glad All Over, the club song. Boom, 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 boom. Who did this one? I should know this. 2 Unlimited, was it? Oh, Wenger Boys. Can't mention Wenger here either, can you?
I got fined a week's wages for singing Glad All Over when I was warming up for the Gooners playing against Crystal Palace, right? And I had no idea, because it's like my whole sister, that was their song. So I was running up and down singing Glad All Over and fist pumping to everybody. And when I come off, George Graham went, "What are you doing?" I went, "It's a great song, Guffey." He went, "You don't do that, that's their song, you ain't warming up properly, week's wages."
Wow. Wow.
I said, "Can I play it in instalments?"
Wow. That is brutal from your manager.
Oh, I still love Glad All Over, though. It hasn't given me, bad memories of it.
Well, here come the 2 squads. Palace players led out by Joel Ward, making his final home appearance, getting to captain the side. A lovely night for him. And here comes the Dave Clark 5, and everyone's singing along like they've never sung before. You need me. Even Perry Groves can't resist. We're going to find you a week's wages in a minute. You're meant to be working.
Glad all over.
I don't know about your singing voice.
It sounds all right in my head.
Okay. You'd have to have a heart of stone or be a Brighton supporter not to be happy for Crystal Palace on a night like this, and their supporters, that they get to have this little moment. And there are friends of ours who work in the media who are Palace fans as well, and I've said to them, Perry, don't you dare shut up about what you've achieved. Don't let people try and shut you up about what you've done. This is yours, own it and enjoy it.
You said, this is a massive moment, Dan. Big moment in Crystal Palace's club's history, and you should kick the backside out of the good times. There's enough, you as a football fan, you Birmingham dads, you've won the League Cup with Birmingham, we're trying to talk about that, but
yep.
You kick, say, the backside out of those times, because you have enough really bad times as a football supporter. This is why you go and watch your team, because you love your team and you want your team to win. But you dream about, if you're outside, like the big hitters, you dream about nights like this and days like Saturday. That's why you go through all the pain, all the hurt, all the sorrow for these moments.
So, the players have done their handshakes, including the handshakes with referee David Webb and his assistants, stood by the halfway line. I'll remind you of the 2 starting 11s as both sets of players break away and hand their tracksuit tops off to their coaching staff. The Palace lineup, 6 changes. Well, both sides make 6 changes tonight from their last games, although Palace played on Saturday. Wolves' last game was over a week ago. So for Crystal Palace, Henderson in goal. Ward, Lacroix, Richards at the back. Munoz, Lerma, Hughes and Chilwell in midfield. Sarr and Esse behind and Ketchia in attack. As for Wolves, Bentley is their keeper. Giga, Agbadou and Totti in a back three. Rodrigo Gomez, Bellegarde, Andre and Aït-Nouri in midfield. Sarabia and Guedes in behind. Larson in attack. So there are some Palace players out there. We talked about Joel Ward and what a special night it is for him. You've got players like Ben Chilwell with a rare chance to make a start, you know, on loan from Chelsea. And then there's a player that I've seen a few times when he played for Millwall, Romain Esse, who's kind of potentially the next cab off the rank, Perry Groves, in terms of a talented forward player who could unlock defences in the mould of an Eze or an Elise, or you know what I mean. Absolutely, he's got that balance, he's got that poise. You say there, he's learnt his trade at Millwall, where obviously it's a bit more physical in the Championship, so he'll play behind Nketiah with Sarr to the right hand side. What a great game to be playing in. But you can bet your life that the four players that were able to play, Mitchell, Eze, Mateta and Kamada, they're not going to go to the manager and moan about them not playing tonight. It's not one of the ones where you knock on your door and you go, I want to play. They're like, oh, thank God for that, I'll come on for the last 20-25 minutes when the game even spreads out more. What was it Alex Brooker said to you on Talksport this afternoon? He'll have got them in yesterday morning and seen which ones of them could walk a straight line down a white line on the pitch, and if they could do that, they play. It's like the American test, isn't it, when you get out your car? Oh yeah. You walk in a straight line. It's a DUI. You can bet your life, quite rightly, that they'll pretend they've been professional, but they wouldn't. They'd have been on it on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe calmed it down yesterday afternoon, obviously, for the game tonight. We'll see how the game pans out, because you still want to win as a professional. You still want to put everything that you've got into it. But I think this is going to have a testimonial feel about it, where both teams are going to be able to express themselves. And we're underway on Talksport 2. Crystal Palace in the red and blue, attacking from right to left as we look. So they're defending the Holmesdale Road end and kicking towards the White Horse Lane stand. Wolves are in all gold tonight. That includes the shorts, no black shorts that you sometimes see. All gold for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are kicking from left to right as we look. Our commentary position at the back of the main stand, probably just slightly into the Crystal Palace defensive half of the field, to the right of the halfway line. Well, we wondered where Joel Ward was going to play, Dan, so we can officially confirm he's on the right side of the three centre halves. And Richards had switched across to the left side. Lacroix has maintained his position in the centre of those three centre halves. Ball stumped downfield for Wolverhampton Wanderers by Nasser Giga, one of the players coming into the starting lineup for the visitors tonight, but it's a comfortable playing for Dean Henderson, who made some great saves and had some awkward moments on Saturday. Ben Chilwell sprinting down the left-hand side, keeps the ball in play, drives across in deep from the left-hand side, but nobody in red and blue can really keep up with him, so it just goes out on the far side for a Wolverhampton Wanderers throw, 0-0.
That's what a great little layoff that was from Esse, when it just come into him playing in that sort of one of the 10 positions, just came a little bit deep as the ball was just rolled into him by Chris Richards, and just laid it off first time to Ben Chilwell, set himself along that left touch line, but he just overhit the cross.
Will Hughes tries to flick the ball towards the penalty area blind. It doesn't quite come off for him, but Chilwell is able to tidy up for Palace, send it back to halfway, and Chris Richards.
Right, can I get this out of the way? We can officially say congratulations to Chris Richards. That's it. Get it out of the way early doors.
Yes. It's not even the right Christian name.
It works if you say it quickly.
Richards in possession inside his own half, plays it square to his right for Lacroix, and then Ward, captaining the side tonight for Crystal Palace, will guide the ball back to Henderson, who's kept 11 clean sheets in the Premier League this season. Made that penalty save on Saturday when it really mattered, just before half time. Lerma, ball breaks on halfway for Esse, but the referee's already blown the whistle for the foul on Jefferson Lerma as he sent the ball forward from inside his own half. Lerma back in his more natural habitat of central midfield tonight. He had to come on as one of the 3 centre-halves for the stricken Mark Gahey on Saturday. Not the first time he's done that this season, but he did it really well.
Yeah, he did. So he slotted in seamlessly, just looking like little personal battles in the midfield area. Obviously Lerma came short there to get it off Chris Richards. Andre just followed him straight in, so that's going to be a little battle you have to keep your eye on, because it's down to Lerma and Will Hughes to try and get.
Now Nketiah trying to turn his man down the left hand side. He's brought down by Agbadou's challenge down the left hand side, level with the 18-yard line. Agbadou puts his hands behind his back as the referee comes out to have a word, but that's given Crystal Palace a free kick down their left hand side with 3.5 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, Nketiah was just very clever there, because Agbadou running alongside him tried to put his left shoulder in, and Nketiah just made sure that he just got across him. I think it was more of a tangle legs rather than a shoulder to shoulder, but a free kick for Crystal Palace in a dangerous from the left hand side.
Chilwell's the favourite to strike it. Will Hughes is standing there with him. By the way, if you've got any puns lined up for Agbadou, I'm warning you, just be careful. Be very careful, Perry Groves.
Nothing to do with pineapples.
No. Free kick for Crystal Palace then, level with the edge of the area. Hughes dummies to take it. It's sent in by Chilwell. The heads go up and it's flicked wide by... it was on that right hand side, is Myla Sarr that got his head to it, but it just skimmed off his forehead and went well wide for a Wolverhampton Wanderers goal kick. Daniel Benn is the Wolves keeper tonight. Kept a clean sheet on his only previous Premier League appearance this season. That was at Old Trafford when Wolves got a 1-0 win against Manchester United, who play in the Europa League final against Spurs tomorrow night live on Talksport. Our team are out there in Bilbao. Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot, Dean Ashton and Alex Crook, all out there. You'll hear from them regularly across the day tomorrow on Talksport, and then of course the whole game live tomorrow evening. Wolves hit the ball long, looking for Jürgen Strand Larsen, who scored 6 goals in his last 7. Didn't play 9 days ago against Brighton, but back in tonight. And after a stuttering start to his life as a Wolves player, he's started to come good, much in the same way, Perry Groves, as Mateta has done for Palace over time.
Yeah, I think Strand Larsen's got his 13 goals all competitions. He's benefited from having the 2 10s that play behind him. Normally it's Matheus Cunha, so I think he benefited from his creativity. And you could tell, Dan, even when I saw him early this season, that you knew that there was a player there. And you could tell he's not at his best physically at the minute, because obviously he's got a bit of sort of growing outwards to do.
Totti Gomez looked for Rodrigo Gomez there with a diagonal ball for Wolves, but it sailed over Rodrigo Gomez's head and out for a throw. 2 very similar systems tonight, in actual fact, for both Crystal Palace and Wolves. Kind of both 3-4-2-1s effectively. Throw into Crystal Palace in their left back position, pretty much at the midway point of the half. Sent in by Chilwell. Hughes manages to smuggle the ball away from a couple of Wolves shirts, not once but twice. Richards tries to hit it forward, but it comes off Beauregard and then off a Crystal Palace player last of all, according to the assistant on this near side, Matt Wilkes. So it's a throw for the visitors. Played 6 minutes on Talksport 2. We'll keep you updated with the scoreline from the Etihad Stadium. The Talksport commentary tonight is Manchester City, the FA Cup losers at the weekend, taking on Bournemouth. Bournemouth who still have a squeak of European football, but there's a few sides whose nose has been put out of joint by Palace winning the FA Cup on Saturday. Brighton, their deadly rivals, being one of them.
Well, I was unfortunate enough to be at the Emirates when Bournemouth beat Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, and they were in the second half, dance. You've seen Bournemouth play, they will put you under pressure. They are athletic, they're physical, they will be aggressive. So if Man City don't match their athleticism and their mobility, then Bournemouth are a team that can run the legs off you, but they do it in patches. They do it for 20-25 minutes at a time, then unsettling, then they drop off.
Ball's on halfway. Wolves trying to win the ball off Chris Richards, and they want to throw right in front of Oliver Glasner, stood inside his technical area. He's got rid of the black jumper. He said he was going to get rid if they won the cup. I can't quite see, well, it looks like he's got a black jumper on underneath his jacket,
but he's got a quilted hooded jacket on. The top area, the Wolves man has got a quilted gilet on. I don't think it's actually that weather, is it?
No, not quite. shirt sleeve order for the most part, I would say. Beautiful early evening here in South London. Larson plays a nice ball for Wolves out to Sarabia on the inside right channel. Rodrigo Gomez feeds the ball into the box, but it's defended by Joel Ward, who gets a massive cheer for getting his foot to that and getting it clear, but Wolves have it back. And it's with Gonzalo Guedes. Now Sarabia looks to chip the ball up to the edge of the area, headed away by Ward. Again, every touch that he makes tonight of a positive nature is going to get a massive cheer. What he's going to remember tonight.
I think he could be in for the game of his life.
I think so.
He's saying nothing he can do wrong. Just looking the ball come in there to Strand Larson in from Agbadou. It was really good hold-up play. He had Lacroix coming in behind him. You've got to make sure if you're playing up front on your own, which he is, that the ball sticks.
Well, Crystal Palace, hardy perennials at the Premier League now. What is it, more than a decade of successive seasons at the top flight level. And there was a time, and you'll remember this, Perry, where Palace couldn't manage more than one season at Premier League level before going straight back down. Those days are gone.
Well, Roy Hodgson was always on speed dial, wasn't he, to come and get them out of trouble?
Yeah. Well, the Frank de Boer season as a Premier League side is one that sticks in my mind.
Is that really a season? That was barely a week, was it? It was a month.
4 games, I think, wasn't it?
They lost his first 6 in all comps, didn't they?
That's right. I'm sure Roy will be as delighted as anybody, as a South Croydon boy himself, that Palace did what they did at the weekend. Plenty will say that he laid the groundwork for what Oliver Glasner has subsequently picked up and run with. 0-0 on Talksport 2, 9 minutes gone. Wolves in possession. Gonzalo Guedes darting through the centre circle. Great run from Aït-Nouri up to the edge of the area. Didn't shoot when he could have done. He had 3 players to his right. He tried to find one of them. Couldn't find anybody, and Palace bring it clear.
That was really good play from Strand Larson again. Get it out to Guedes. I think he played the ball too early, Dan.
Essa, lovely ball out to Ward, who looks early for Nketiah, sails over his head, but Chilwell picks it up, drives it across the area, goes well wide in the end. He got caught in 2 minds there, Ben Chilwell. Might have been looking for Ismail Assar, but the ball was hit too far ahead again of his teammate. So Wolves have a goal kick as we approach 10 minutes on Talksport 2 at Selhurst Park. You're listening to Crystal Palace Wolves on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget, you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Manchester City against Bournemouth live right now. Just search Now Sports for all the details.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nothing ball from Ben Chilwell. You said got caught in 2 minds earlier when Guedes had the ball in the inside left position. Aït-Nouri made a brilliant run outside him. He could have held on to it a bit longer, Dan, because he said there, if he holds on to it a bit longer, then he rolls it into Aït-Nouri's path. He makes Aït-Nouri's mind up that he's going to shoot. But because he'd played it too early, said Aït-Nouri then decided he was going to try and cross it.
Chilwell intercepts a crossfield pass intended for Rodrigo Gomez. Wolves have a throw, bang on halfway, taken quickly by Giga. Andre works it back to Agbadou. And now Andre again. Perry Grove shifting in his chair every time I say Agbadou's name. He's just doing the actions. Just don't do it. It's radio.
I'm having a great time. It's party time here.
You are, yeah. Well, you're joining in with the Palace fans, in fairness, and the Holmesdale Ultras banging the drums and making plenty of noise as usual. It's just a celebratory atmosphere here. Throw in for Crystal Palace. Chilwell to take it. Hughes has come short, but he looks longer down the near touchline for Romain Essa, who tries to keep the ball in play with a languid stride, but he's run into the challenge of Agbadou, who sees the ball out for a goal kick in the end for Wolves away to our left, 0-0.
That was a pike dive there, wasn't it, from Essa? Because he had a good touch when he took it out of the air and he just got out of his feet. And Agbadou, who is built like a mountain, by the way, just come over, didn't he, and just brushed him off like a fly on his shoulder. And Essa went flying, thought he was going to get a free kick. David Webb, the referee, quite rightly just said, no, shoulder to shoulder.
Pablo Sarabia for Wolves, allowed to scamper over the halfway line. Feeds it out to the right, looking for Rodrigo Gomez, who tried to keep it in play, but the ball's played behind him. And Sarabia claims that his teammate was at fault, that the pass was right, but he went behind his teammate. And Palace had the ball inside their own penalty area with Maxence Lacroix.
Well, actually, Rodrigo Gomez there, he made a really good run from out to in. He wanted it played inside Chris Richards, and in the end it was Sarabia who thought he was going to stay a bit wider, and he just hit it out of play. And I actually think Rodrigo Gomez was right, because there was that space in behind Chris Richards that Sarabia didn't see.
Totti Gomez brings the ball away for Wolves inside their own half, and then Aït-Nouri tried to flick it down the far side of the field, and it went out for a throw off a Crystal Palace boot. Munoz, I think it was, they've got the foot in. Ian Dancer and Perry Groves with you at Selhurst Park on this very pleasant Tuesday evening in South London. Free kick for Wolves, so the play is brought back to the halfway line on the far touchline for a foul on Ryan Aït-Nouri.
Brilliant feat from Ryan Aït-Nouri, playing a little 1-2 of himself, his right foot to his left foot, then back again. Just went in between Will Hughes and Munoz.
Very, very clever player, Ryan Aït-Nouri. Goes under the radar a lot of the time. 7 assists this season. He scored a few goals as well from left wing back. Almost given the ball up. Romain Essa making a nuisance of himself at the edge of the Wolves box, but the visitors get it half clear. But then in steps Jefferson Lerma to win it back on this near touchline, and it's worked back to the halfway line, and Palace can try and build again with Richards. Omar Marmoush has given Manchester City the lead at the Etihad over on Talksport against Bournemouth. You can follow that commentary with Sam Matterface and Mickey Gray, and of course if you've got the app downloaded, you can swipe effortlessly between Talksport and Talksport 2, so you get both Premier League commentaries and switch between them as you wish.
Yeah, just looking at Wolves out of possession, they got back into a 5-3-2, make it very narrow, where Guedes goes back in midfield. Sarabia comes up alongside Strand Larsen. So for Crystal Palace's point of view, they've got to get the passing a little bit quicker and get it out to the wide areas.
Talksport's Alan Pardew has the honour of sitting next to Messrs Steve Parish and Mark Bright tonight in the director's box.
John Talako's absolutely devastated.
Livid. Chilwell comes back and wins a throw off Rodrigo Gomez. That's good defending by Ben Chilwell for Crystal Palace, on loan from Chelsea. This is his 11th appearance. Not in Enzo Maresca's plans, it seems, or it certainly wasn't at the start of the season. I wonder what the future holds for Ben Chilwell.
Yeah, well, he was in, we used to call it the Cowfield squad, where you don't train with the main group of players. You're told just to go and basically train on your own. But to be fair to Maresca, he made it clear, didn't he, to the players that he wanted to keep. Raheem Sterling was one of those as well, wasn't it, who said, no, you don't fit the way that I want my team to play.
No doubt that Ben Chilwell at the age of 28 has still got a lot to give. Long ball downfield, and Nketiah chasing after it, and Bentley, great starting position from the Wolves keeper, got there first, and he was practically at the midway point of his own half, the Wolves keeper, when he just beat Nketiah to the ball and hooks it out of play for a throw on the far side. 0-0.
Brilliant play from Ismaïla Sarr in that centre midfield area. Just chested the ball down. He knew that Nketiah was going to be on his bike, just hooked it over his shoulder. He said there, Bentley had to get his timing spot on, because if Nketiah just toe-pokes it away from him, basically Bentley gets sent off. So great starting position and great timing for his sliding tackle.
I was waiting for you to say Bentley motored forward. Let me down there, Perry. Here's Nketiah on the turn on halfway. Plenty of space to run into. Plays it left. Chilwell's in space, left-hand side of the box. Drives it, goals. Spilled by the keeper. Comes out to the 6-yard line. And Aït-Nouri keeps it away from advancing Crystal Palace players.
Yeah, it comes out to Ben Chilwell on the edge of the 18-yard box, gets it onto his left foot. He should be going across David Bentley. He's just tried to put the power on it and go through him. In the end, it was a simple save from Bentley. Just went straight to him, got both his palms, his hands to it.
That's the first meaningful chance of the game here at Selhurst Park, and we're 16 and a half minutes in on Talksport 2. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. Giga making a rare start tonight for Wolves. Made his Premier League debut as a sub at Bournemouth not long ago. £10 million from Cervena Zvezda, or Red Star as they're also known.
Just to pull you up on a technical point there.
Oh yeah.
Not subs, impact players.
Oh, finishers. That's what they are now, isn't it? Now here's Daniel Bentley, Wolves keeper, almost playing chicken with Eddie Nketiah, walking out as far as he dared from his penalty area before releasing the ball. Down goes Bellegarde, fouled by Will Hughes. Wolves get a free kick round about the midway point of the Crystal Palace half. Sarabia wants to take it quickly, but the referee says nope, taking it 3 yards too far forward, 0-0.
Yeah, it's really clever play from Wolves' two centre midfield players, Bellegarde and Andre, because Andre just dropped deeper. He went into, sort of the 4 position. Then Bellegarde made sure he went into 10 so he could roll it into him, let it roll across his body. Will Hughes knew that he was struggling, just had a little tap of his ankles, brought him down. A free kick for Wolves, which Sarabia will take with his left foot.
So just to the right of centre, not quite in the middle of the half. Palace defending on their 18-yard line. Not too many standing in an offside position at the moment. In it comes, Richards. He heads it half clear, lob back across the face of goal by a Wolves player, and Essa elects to head it behind at the Holmesdale Road end. So Wolves have the first corner of the game with 18 minutes gone, 0-0.
It's good header back across from Agbadou. Needs to be better communication between Henson and Richards, because there was nobody on Richards. Richard could have ducked the ball, just gone out for a goal kick. Because that lack of communication, Wolves have got a corner now for themselves on their right hand side,
where the Holmesdale Road meets the main stand. So a left-footed in-swinger to come from Pablo Sarabia for Wolves. Hits the first defender, Sarr, at the near post, and his clearance came out to Jean-Ric Bellegarde, who tried his luck on his weaker left foot from 20 yards out, and he lifted it way over the crossbar. Goal kick, 0-0. And Henderson takes that goal kick quickly, spotted that Munoz had made a run downfield, but the goal kick was too straight and just bounced through to Bentley after 2 bounces of the ball.
It was the right idea to try and play Munoz in, who's out on that right hand side, but if that's on target, does that go down as a shot on target from Henderson when it rolls through to Bentley? Because that was actually on target.
I hope that's a rhetorical question, because I can't answer that one. I guess it must do. I don't know. There'll be somebody in this press box who'll be agonising over what button to press.
The statisticians will put it down, they've got to justify their existence, haven't they?
Ooh, dear. Throw into Wolverhampton Wanderers, 0-0 with 19 and a half minutes played. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you at Selhurst Park. Pleasure to be here for what's a very celebratory atmosphere. Palace trying to bring the ball out of defence. They thought they'd want to throw on the far side. I couldn't see the ball go out of play because there's brand new PA speakers that have been installed here at Selhurst Park that block your view at various points of the far touchline. Always a challenge here, although of course there is talk of Selhurst Park being properly refitted and redone out. This main stand would be prime for a bit of a refit, wouldn't it, Perry?
The worst ways out, they can lift the roof, can't they, and make that a little bit higher to make obviously the viewing points and vantage points a little bit clearer. But I love, this is a football ground.
Yes.
And I love football grounds. Whether a pillar's in your way, that's just part of the romance in it from my point of view. But as you said there, it all comes down to finance, dance, and if the number crunchers work it out that it's worth, even if you have to shut a bit of your stadium down for a period of time, and then you can generate the money when obviously you open it and get more fans in, then it will be done.
Rodrigo Gomez for Wolves, darting down the right hand side, but across comes Lacroix, very calmly strokes the ball out of play for a Wolves throw right by the corner flag on this near side there. Right, Wolves are attacking the Holmesdale Road end in this first half. Two are right, wearing their all gold strip tonight, just a bit of black trim around the top of the shorts. And Rodrigo Gomez tries to lob it back to Agbadou, who are then obstructed, and Nketiah, who got to the ball first, and a yellow card for Emmanuel Agbadou for that challenge on Eddie Nketiah after a Rodrigo Gomez throw actually sold the player who got booked a little bit short.
I tell you what, Agbadou's a little bit lucky there, Dance, because he knows exactly what he's doing, because Eddie Nketiah just reads the throw in. As you said there, it was a shocking throw from Rodrigo Gomez. So I think the Wolves throwing coach has just got the sack. So that's the second time they've actually had the ball and thrown it to Crystal Palace.
Hang on, you're not suggesting that was denying a clear goal scoring opportunity?
No, elbow.
Oh, I see.
Because he knew what he was doing, so he put his arm up. Lucky for him, he caught him with his forearm and not his elbow.
On the far side, Munoz trying to get the better of Totti Gomez, but Totti does well. Finds Aït Nouri. On the right hand side, Larson has come deep, works the ball back into midfield for Bellegarde. Good football from Wolves, bringing it forward and switching it to this right hand side. They're looking for Sarabia, but the ball down this near side to try and find him from Rodrigo Gomez actually gave Richards a chance to get himself between man and ball. So it's a Wolves throw, 9 yards from the corner flag on this near side there, right as they attack the Holmesdale Road in. Rodrigo Gomez, has he won a corner off Essa there? Actually, it is a corner that's been given belatedly by Matt Wilkes, the assistant on this near side. It's the same area from where Sarabia struck the last one and hit the first defender, 0-0.
Well, at least Rodrigo Gomez actually threw it to one of his own players, which he did to Sarabia, got it back from him. Ben Chilwell comes to close him down, gets a block on. Another corner, Wolves on their right-hand side. Let's hope Sarabia this time can miss Sarr at the near post.
Agbadou standing just in front of the penalty spot, a clutch of Wolves players beyond the far post. Sarabia looks for one of those players. Larson at the far post, heads it back across and headed over the line, surely by Agbadou. Has it been given? It has. Emmanuel Agbadou looks to try and spoil the party in South London. Larson got the first touch on the corner. Agbadou headed it towards goal, and it crossed the line before it was hooked clear. And Emmanuel Agbadou scores his first goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers and puts the FA Cup winners behind at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 1.
Miles better corner from Sarabia, just making sure he's just lifted at the far post. Strand Larson rises above Chris Richards, heads it back across the 6-yard box. Agbadou realises that he's got to get the connection on it, gets his forehead to it, and then it's cleared off the line by Nketiah, and it looked from here dance in normal time that the ball gone over the line. Then David Webb, the referee, looks at his wristwatch and says, yep, ball's crossed the line, points to central spot. Brilliant set piece this time from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Really good headers from Strand Larson and Agbadou to put it over the line to put Wolves 1-0 up.
So his first goal since his move in January from Reims in French Liga. The Ivorian has put Wolves in front. They're just checking with the goal decision system. We're looking at replays now, and the ball is well over the line before Nketiah. There's at least space for another ball to go in front of the ball that crossed the line before it even thinks about touching the whitewash.
And you didn't have to go to your left-hand side to get the view. There was no post in the way.
It was less than 2 minutes between Agbadou getting a yellow card for obstructing Nketiah to then getting the opening goal that Nketiah could not prevent. So Vitor Pereira is looking to spoil the evening for the Palace supporters. Mind you, I think, as you intimated earlier, Perry Groves, Wolves could go 5-0 up and not spoil the party. But 1-0. Lovely ball back into the box from Essa. Oh, and a header towards goal from Ismail Assar. Wasn't powerful enough to trouble Daniel Bentley. But a lovely ball from Romain Essa, just teased into the area. But Sarr couldn't apply the power with the header. 1-0 Wolves.
He should have gone with a volley dance. He said a brilliant ball from Essa with his left foot, just dinking it over the Wolves' 3 centre-backs. Comes to Ismail Assar. He's completely unmarked. He doesn't need to head it. He can actually take it down with his right foot and get a volley away. It looks like he's got a Crouch helmet on with his header because it didn't go in the direction he wanted it to. Went straight to Daniel Bentley. Simple save.
And Romain Essa is enjoying himself out there tonight. Oh, lovely skill from Essa. Pulls it back from the byline. Nketiah gets the shot away. It's 1-1. Eddie Nketiah brings Palace level. Only a minute or so after they went behind. But he's gone straight to his teammate Romain Essa because the setup play from the new signing Romain Essa was just delicious. But Nketiah still had to finish, and he did so for what's only his second Premier League goal for Crystal Palace, and it's 1-1 at party time, Selhurst Park.
Essa, does it really matter, dance? Because you'd never know there's any difference because he does brilliantly. Essa just goes past 2 or 3 challenges, comes to Eddie Nketiah, then it comes back out to Nketiah on this left-hand side. Wolves think they've cleared the danger. Nketiah keeps it alive. It comes to Essa with his left foot, just as a little nutmeg on Agbadou, and then can he pick out the right pass? Nketiah standing on his right hand shoulder, just gets his head up, just rolls it to Eddie Nketiah. Looks like he's going to shoot first time, lets it roll across his body, and then smashes it low down past Dan Bentley into the far corner to put Crystal Palace back in this game at 1-1.
Magnificent from Romain Essa, who's had A really good game so far, and looked a real box of tricks. £12 million well spent, and a member of the Wolves coaching staff has just received a yellow card. Not Vitor Pereira, I hasten to add, but David Webb, quick to caution somebody on the Wolves bench who had something to say about the nature of that equaliser. I didn't see a great deal wrong with that, Perry Groves, that would necessarily anger Wolves.
Well, I think they were maybe complaining they thought the ball went out of play on this left-hand side. That Nketiah did brilliantly, just chased a lost cause, got his little flick of his left foot, went to Esse, and he did the rest.
It's Luis Miguel who got the yellow card on the Wolves bench for a bit too much back chat to the fourth official in the wake of that equaliser. So 28 minutes gone, 1-1 at Selhurst Park, and the noise has been turned back up to 11 again.
Who was it? Luis Miguel, did you say? Got the Well, the Crystal Palace players have proven they're not been on the San Miguels, have they?
Thought it was Madry these days. Thought that was the one that everyone had.
Oh, you're so down with the kids.
To apologise for our little technical fault there. We are back at Selhurst Park. Ian Danter and Perry Groves. 29 minutes played here in South London. It is Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 1. Wolves took the lead through Emmanuel Agbadou's first for the club, but Eddie Nketiah, who had only scored one goal for Palace before tonight against Villa in February, 25 million purchase from Arsenal. That'll do him the power of good to have scored here at Selhurst Park tonight to bring the host level. Now Esse back doing defensive duties to rob his opposite number Sarabia. Lerma tried to feed the ball up to find Nketiah on halfway. Wolves won it back temporarily, and then David Webb spotted a foul by a Wolves player. There'll be a free kick to the hosts inside their own half. And Oliver Glasner just goes to sit back down in his chair. He's won 28 of his 59 games in charge of Crystal Palace, which is a very, very good record when you're getting anywhere near 50% win rate. Ball's back with Bellingham.
The Monday boxing talk.
Do apologise, we're back now at Selhurst Park. We've had a few gremlins causing us some problems in the press box, but we're back. Ian Danter and Perry Groves. It's 1-1. You've missed none of the action here at Selhurst Park. Sarabia was down injured whilst you were gone. It's 1-1. We've played 31 minutes. And Agbadou, who put Wolves ahead, is in possession midway point of his own half. Plays a ball across to the left, looking for Ait Nouri, but Daniel Munoz quick to intercept and volleys it down the right hand side, and Sarr's away across the facing goal. Nketiah! 2-1! Man, they really can start to party at Selhurst Park. Suddenly Eddie Nketiah has 2 goals in next to no time in front of his home supporters, and Crystal Palace have turned it around. Great work from Munoz on the right hand side, found Sarr in space down the right, and a brilliant ball across the face of goal that was just aching to be tucked away, and Eddie Nketiah duly obliged. Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 1.
Brilliant play for Munoz on the right hand side. He wins the interception literally in the air as it goes on that right hand touch side. Looks like the ball's a go out of play. He keeps it in play, hooks it over his shoulder to Sarr. Sarr then gets himself at the 18-yard box. Then he's got to make sure he's got a cool head. Can he pick the right pass? Yes, he can. He rolls it across the 6-yard box, and Nketiah gets himself away from Jigger. Then he's got to stay nice and cool, instep with his right foot, gives Bentley absolutely no chance, whips it across low down to Bentley's right hand side. Brilliantly crafted goal from Crystal Palace to put them 2-1 up here at Selhurst Park.
So Eddie Nketiah. Be a good buy for Arsenal, someone can sit the ball away like that. Oh no, sorry, you sold him. 25 million quid. He was released by Arsenal to come from North London to South London. And wow, the noise in here now, it's somehow gone up a notch from where it was before, which was loud enough anyway.
You know, both Palace goals, Dance, were chasing lost causes. It was Nick Nketiah the first time on the left-hand touchline, looked like the balls will go out of play. He made sure he keeps it and it goes to Esse. And then on the right-hand side, Munoz gets the header. Again, looks like it's going out of play. He hooks it in, gets it to Sarr. So there is that little bit of hunger with these Crystal Palace players.
Will Hughes, lovely ball up to the edge of the area. Sarr works it down the right side of the box. Munoz back for Ismaila Sarr. Drove it goalwards, but it's straight at Daniel Bentley, who could claim low down at his near post. And Palace really going to work here on Wolves. 2-1.
Good play from Will Hughes initially, just whipping the ball into Ismaila Sarr, and he rolls it out to Munoz. Maybe Munoz can take another touch, puts it back to Sarr, and first time what Sarr's trying to do is whip it across his body with his right foot and go down low to Bentley's right hand side. In the end he scuffs it, doesn't really get the right contact. Simple save from Bentley, but you can hear it, the decibels have gone up a notch here at Selhurst Park, and the performance of the players has as well.
Crystal Palace already with 21 wins this season. That's their third best ever for wins in a season. They got 28 wins back in 1990-91, just before the formation of the Premier League. And they're away again. Palace with Daniel Munoz down the right-hand side, 3 waiting for a cross, tried to get inside Totti Gomez, went to ground, but there was no suspicion of a foul. He just lost his footing, Munoz, and the chance is gone for Palace. 2-1.
As you said, just lost his footing at the wrong time. It was good play down their right hand side again. Ain't Nouri isn't following the runs of Munoz. Just been a little bit lazy. Munoz just tried to cut back inside. Then he looked like he had roller skates on. He ended up falling over. David Webb, the referee, was in a really good position. All it's done is the pitch is just given away from his standing foot on his right foot there for Munoz. Totti Gomez actually nowhere near him. Good decision from the referee.
2-1 to Crystal Palace, and we've got 10 minutes to half-time on Talksport 2 here at Selhurst Park. Myself, Ian Danter, and Perry Groves with you Tuesday night. Wolves have the ball down the left-hand side with Ryan Ait-Nouri. Gets the ball into the area, but Chilwell comes across from left-back to head it clear. Brought down by Totti Gomez, and here comes Munoz again, up over the halfway line. Esse to his left, and Nketiah on a hat-trick now to his right, and Nketiah trying to cut him from the right wing, but that's good defending by Wolves. They win it back and find Sarabi, who turns just inside his own half. Guedes making a strong run to his right, but he's gone left instead to Jean-Luc de Bellegarde. Larson waiting just inside the D to make a run into the box. They look for him with a cross, but it's well defended by Lacroix. Headed up to halfway, and Totti keeps it away from Nketiah, and Wolves have it back. There's spaces for Wolves to exploit here too, Perry, not just Palace exploiting areas like down Wolves' left-hand side. Yeah, just in the 10 position, Sarabi is trying to get himself obviously on the ball. Just looking at Lacroix, I mean, everybody waxed lyrical quite rightly about Dean Henderson playing like an octopus, obviously in the FA Cup final on Saturday. But I'm just looking at Lacroix playing in the centre of the 3 centre-halves of Palace. He looks very unflustered, very unfazed. Strand Larsen just tried to make a run across in there, and it was very Virgil van Dijkish the way that he ran with him and just sort of leant across him, to stop his run, but to go with his run as well. So I think that him playing in the centre of those 3 centre-halves, he got obviously Joel Ward on the right-hand side tonight and Chris Richards on the left-hand side. He just makes everybody else feel that little bit calmer. Well, he worked with Oliver Glasner at Wolfsburg when he had a long spell there, 4 years of service at Wolfsburg, with over 130 appearances, I think, that he made, Maxime Lacroix. He's only scored once in this first season at Palace. That was against Manchester City here back in December. But yes, he's looked very solid as part of that 3-man system that Glasner has got right here more often than not, certainly as the season has gone on. 2-1 to Crystal Palace if you're just tuning in to Talksport 2. 38 minutes played at Selhurst Park. And Palace have a throw, midway point of the Wolves half down the far right-hand side of the field. 2-0 to Manchester City. Bernardo Silva gets the second for Pep Guardiola's men. Live on Talksport right now. You've got a choice of listening this evening across our network. And don't forget the Europa League final tomorrow. All the build-up across the day with breakfast and White and Jordan and Drive, and then of course the whole game live. Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United from the San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao. And Adrian Durham and the team are out there already, and you'll be hearing from them across the day as well too tomorrow on Talksport. Ball's on halfway, but Palace give the ball up. Rodrigo Gomez keeps the ball away from Chilwell and guides it back to Giga.
There's a collector's item. Will Hughes actually giving the ball away. It was a great little ball in from Chris Richards into the centre circle, and Will Hughes just playing it first time into SA, just got intercepted.
Long ball downfield looking for Larson, but Richards dealt with it well. But Wolves win it back on halfway. Here's Guedes, flicks it to his right for Larson. He lays it off to Sarabia, chips the ball into the area. Rodrigo Gomez heads it back across the face of goal. Sarr trying to get the ball out from under his feet. By the time he did that, Joel Ward, the man of the night, managed to beat him to it. And then there was a bit of a wrestling match where both Nketiah and Giga had a chunk of one another's shirts, and the referee said that Nketiah was more in the wrong than his opponent. Free kick to Wolves, 2-1 Palace.
Yeah, on the first looks it looked like Rodrigo Gomez might be offside. Just got on the blind side of Ben Chilwell, just cut the ball back, said it comes to Strand Larson. Just a shame he couldn't get his first touch, was underneath him, couldn't get it out of his feet to get his shot away. That enabled Joel Ward to come in and close him down, and you haven't got to guess every time someone has a clearance for Crystal Palace who it is.
You're listening to Crystal Palace 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 for the latest odds. Head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Palace to go on and win it 5-2 on, Wolves 7-1 against, the draw priced at 3-1. That's all thanks to William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. And we've got 5 minutes of normal time to play in this first period. Wolves in possession, just shy of the halfway line with Nasser Giga. Finds Sarabia, who's now pulled out to the right hand side, trying to find different areas of space. Pablo Sarabia to try and unlock this Palace defence. Totti out to the left hand side of Night Nuri, gives it back to Totti. Larson is waiting for a ball further forward. It sails over his head though and trickles out of play over the dead ball line for a Crystal Palace goal kick away to our right at the Holmesdale Road end. 2-1 to the hosts.
It's been a good game, Dan. You know, we can hear, obviously, there's not many times where football fans can go to the games and not really worry about whether a team's going to lose or not. So Crystal Palace fans have had the best of both worlds, because they've seen a team go behind and then get themselves back in front from Nketiah's 2 goals. And the difference is, we said about both teams playing similar systems, the 3-4-2-1 system. The difference is when Palace get into the final third, they look more creative and they pick the right passes. When Wolves get into the final third, the balls tends to break down or they pick the wrong pass.
It's a good game at Molineux with these two met earlier in the season, ended up 2-2. 1-0 down and 2-1 up were Wolves before Mark Gay, who's not playing tonight for Palace, he equalised with about 13 minutes to play at Molineux. Crystal Palace, who could still finish 10th in the Premier League if they get things right tonight and in their final game of the season, certainly go their way to finish at the end of the campaign with a top 10 campaign at the end of it all. They are currently in 12th, behind Bournemouth and Fulham ahead of them as they bid for that final spot. Here's Wolves coming forward. The cross is well played into the box, but only finds Will Hughes, who flicks it to his right for Ismaila Sarr, who brings the ball down the right hand side, clips it infield for Munoz. Just has to check his run for a moment, and then it's worked back to Will Hughes. Oh, dinks the ball over the top. Nketiah brings it down onside, trying to sail the goalkeeper. Oh, he's been put it wide, and the offside flag goes up belatedly against Eddie Nketiah anyway. Lovely ball from Will Hughes, just dinked over the top. I don't know whether Nketiah was offside, they'll check it. It didn't hit the back of the net anyway, but ball that Will Hughes played just caught Nketiah offside, I think. Very gross.
It was a great little pitching wedge from Will Hughes. I think Nketiah, probably his left shoulder dance was just offside, but what he should be doing as the ball drops out, he should be chesting it so he's facing the goal straight away. He chested it so he's facing away from the goal, then he's got to get his turn on, then it gives Bentley a chance to make the save. So I think it would have been given offside. But just a little sign there of the way the game is. Will Hughes picked the ball up probably 10 yards into Wolves' half. There wasn't a Wolves player within, 10-15 yards of him. Just give him all that time to have that little dink pass.
Well, you give Will Hughes that sort of time, by and large, he will pick the right pass.
Dan, to give you that sort of time, you'd pick the right pass.
I'm not sure about that. Here's Sarabia, right-hand corner of the penalty area for Wolves. Tries to dig out a cross on his right. Didn't get anything like the pace or power he wanted. Volleyed away by Richards. Throw in to Wolves. You're listening to Crystal Palace 2, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move or planning a clear out? Well, with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Last minute of normal time in this first period. There's going to be 3 minutes to add on as well once we get to the 45. Wolves with a throw directly underneath our commentary position as we sit at the back of the main stand at Selhurst Park. Agbadou, who got Wolves ahead, finds Totti to his left on the halfway line. Aït-Nouri did really well to come towards the ball under pressure from Ward. They both went to ground. He was getting back to his feet, Aït-Nouri, but the referee said that was a foul from Joe Ward, and Wolves have a free kick. 2-1 down, Wolves are.
Yeah, Aït-Nouri did really well. Just make sure he's getting his body in between Joe Ward and the ball. Just gets his left foot. Joe Ward just comes in a little bit late. David Webb, referee, gives the free kick.
So Sarabia will have it to the left of centre, round about the midway point of the half. And again, Palace defending the 18-yard line and no deeper and certainly no further forward. Guedes is standing in an offside position just inside the penalty area. So the 3 minutes have begun of minimum stoppage time. Wolves 2-1 down, but they've got a free kick here to be taken by Sarabia. Lifts it with pace to the right hand side of the area, but Lacroix with a comfortable header clear. Comes out to Agbadou, past it infield but straight to Will Hughes. Clips it further infield for Essa. Essa tried to give it back to Hughes, who made a strong run down the left, but Agbadou intercepted. And Wolves get it back, and they have numbers back to defend it.
That was really a decoy one from Will Hughes, because he's not known for his electric pace, is he? So he did really well to get it into SA. Then he just made a decoy on the left-hand side. He wants SA then to spin out, go to Munoz on the right. Just unfortunately for the young man, he picked the wrong pass, but he's been very impressive, SA, in this first half, Dan. When the ball comes into him, his first touch is really good, his awareness is good, he's got great balance, great poise, and obviously he's got his assist for Nketiah's first goal.
12 million quid in January for Millwall. Scored 7 goals for the Lions of South London in 60 odd appearances. Romain Essa scored on his debut against Brentford and hasn't scored since, but he's looked very, very good tonight on this start. Just 20 years young, Romain Essa.
Well, Dan, to what we've always said, there is a plethora of talent in the EFL, in the Championship.
Oh, I agree. There's a lot of snobbery around from, certainly not from Palace, but there are Premier League clubs who've got a snobbery about buying players from the EFL. I got a lot of heat on socials the other day for talking about Gyökeres only being a target for the elite clubs since he's gone to Sporting. Now Wolves coming forward with Aït-Nouri inside the area, lays it off for Guedes, and the left-footed shot takes a deflection, goes over the bar, and it is a corner to Wolves at the end of the half. And a corner from this side did lead to the opening goal of the game, but they're 2-1 down now.
Yeah, brilliant ball in from Bellegarde into Aït-Nouri, coming in for that left-back position into the edge of the 18-yard box with the outside of his right foot. He just then rolls it back.
So it will be Sarabia to take this corner kick. He's raised both arms above his head. In it goes left-footed, good delivery, and Nketiah flicks it away at the near post, and it goes out on the other side for a Wolves corner where the Arthur Waite meets the Holmesdale Road end. 2-1 Palace. Good delivery from Sarabia again. Apart from his first corner, he hit the first man, Ismail Essar. This time his delivery's been really good. Nketiah just defending near post, gets a little touch to it, goes out for a corner again for Wolves over on their left-hand side, which Bellegarde will take this time. So a right-footed in-swing. Actually, he's played it short down the left-hand side. It's worked back in field to Guedes, 25 yards out, goes for goal and skims the side netting with Henderson standing, didn't see it coming, but it smacked into the side netting from Gonzalo Guedes. And that is half-time at Molineux, and the Palace fans rise to their feet. Party time at Selhurst Park, but Wolves were looking to spoil the party when Emmanuel Agbadou headed home his first Wolves goal from a corner kick to put Wolves in front just past the midway point of the half. But then 2 goals in 5 minutes from Eddie Nketiah put Wolves in front. The first came after super work down the left-hand side from youngster Romain Esse, and the second came from really good interplay on the Palace right between Munoz and Ismail Assar. And Nketiah dispatched both goals brilliantly to give Palace the lead at half-time, Perry Groves. Palace 2, Wolves 1.
Yeah, it's been a good game, Dan. It's obviously, it hasn't got the real physical intensity of a normal Premier League game, but there's some good players on show. There's going to be good techniques, and the difference between the two sides, which I said in commentary, is when Palace have got themselves into the final third, the 2 goals that they've scored, it was the right decisions from Sarr and then from the young lad Esse, who made the right decisions at the right time. Esse from the left-hand side got a brilliant nutmeg on Agbadou, then got himself to the byline, made sure he cut it back from Nketiah. Good finish from Nketiah, get the ball out his feet, smash it past Bentley. And then from the right-hand side, Munoz just hooks the ball down the line. Ismail Assar gets himself into the 18-yard box. It's a brilliant ball across the 6-yard box for Nketiah. Invites him to hit it first time, gives Bentley again no chance, low down to his right. That means Palace go in at half-time 2-1 up, and you have to say on the balance of play, it's probably just about right.
Although Wolves have had the lion's share of possession, 2/3 of the ball they've had, Perry.
Yep, but said they're in possession, they've been all right coming to the final third, but especially on this right-hand side, where it's Rodrigo Gomez getting down here, Sarabia or Bellegarde, they've always hit the first man when they're getting their crosses into the box. Strand Larsen's got a little bit sort of frustrated because he's worked hard, but he hasn't had a lot of service. The set pieces have been very good, apart from the first one from Sarabia where he hit the first man, but his other 5 have been really good, and that's where Wolves got their opening goal from, because it was a good corner on the right hand side, in swinging from Sarabia to the far post. Strand Larsen makes sure he gets the first contact over the top of Chris Richards, heads the back ball back across. Agbadou's on the 6-yard box, heads it past Henderson, and Nketiah's behind him, thinks he's crossed it over the line, but eagle-eyed Dance looked right along and said goal straight away without obviously the goal line technology, and it was a very good decision spot from you, Dance.
Well, he was that far behind the line, Nketiah. It just didn't look likely that he kept it out. But Emmanuel Agbadou, his joy was short-lived for Wolves, and Crystal Palace on this celebratory night for the South London club have turned it around to be in front at half-time. Full second half commentary to come here on Talksport 2, and we'll hear at half-time from Ange Postecoglou, the Tottenham Hotspur manager, in defiant mood ahead of the Europa League final against Manchester United, that you can hear live tomorrow evening over on Talksport. But at the break here at Selhurst Park on Talksport 2 Premier League Live, it's Crystal Palace 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday, at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you.
Screwfix Sprint delivers from store to door in as little as 20 minutes. So don't get stuck behind a sea of brake lights that grinds your day to a halt. Why waste your time when we can zip to you and you can stay on your job? Screwfix Sprint cuts through the congestion to get you what you need fast. More time working, less traffic frustration. Screwfix Sprint, delivering in as little as 20 minutes. Just $4.99 and only on the app. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply. Selected products.
The season is shaping up, and whether they're going for glory or going down, it's all to play for. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday, only in the Sun.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Summer fashion announcement. Stripes are in, darling. Oh, and also florals. Groundbreaking, we know. Pastels and block colors too. Basically, you choose. From breathable floral duvet sets to modular wardrobes and stripy block-out blinds, IKEA has hundreds of new summer products to let summer in. Fabulous. Visit IKEA online or in store. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
And what a season this has been for Village Hotels. They've got the quadruple. Stylish rooms, state-of-the-art gym, heated indoor pool, and the legendary Village Pub and Grill with its unbeatable lineup of food and drink. No wonder the fans are going wild for this champion of affordable breaks. Absolute class. Village Hotels, 33 winning locations across the UK, with everything under one roof. Book now at villagehotels.com.
The McSpicy Frank's Red Hot is back. It's the McSpicy, but hotter. With 100% chicken breast fillet, melty cheese, fiery jalapenos, and that irresistible Frank's Red Hot mayo. Make it hot. Available until the 17th of June. Served from 11 a.m. Participating restaurants only. Subject to availability.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Watch the Premier League final day before the countdown begins to a huge new season, where Sky Sports have at least 215 live games, up from 128. Subscription required.
The UEFA Europa League final, live on Talksport.
Yes!
Tomorrow night from 7.
Spurs versus Manchester United.
Unbelievable.
Coverage from 7, kick-off 8 p.m.
That is some of the best technique you will see around.
The UEFA Europa League final,
Live on Talksport.
The PGA Charles Schwab Challenge, live on Talksport 2, Thursday night from 11. As the world's golfing elite go head-to-head at Colonial Country Club, hear full swing-by-pitch by pub commentary of all the action direct from Fort Worth, Texas. The PGA Charles Schwab Challenge, Thursday night from 11, live on Talksport 2.
feel the power and the glory.
What a goal!
No one does football quite like this.
It's goal time.
Game night on Talksport 2.
You'd have to have a heart of stone or be a Brighton supporter not to be happy for Crystal Palace on a night like this and their supporters, that they get to have this little moment. It's Larson at the far post, heads it back across and headed over the line, surely by Agbadou. Has it been given? It has. Emmanuel Agbadou looks to try and spoil the party in South London. And Romain Essa is enjoying himself out there tonight. Oh, lovely skill from Essa. Pulls it back from the byline. Nketiah gets the shot away. It's 1-1. Eddie Nketiah brings Palace level. Only a minute or so after they went behind. And Sarr's away across the face. Nketiah 2-1. And they really can start a party at Selhurst Park. Suddenly Eddie Nketiah has 2 goals in next to no time in front of his home supporters. Welcome back to Selhurst Park. Ian Danter and Perry Groves with you on Talksport 2, Premier League Live. The score of the break, Crystal Palace 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Full second half commentary to come. I should tell you as well that the half-time score over on Talksport at the Etihad, Manchester City 2, Bournemouth 0. A rocket of a shot from Omar Marmoush and a second from Bernardo Silva has put the citizens firmly in control of that game up there at the Etihad. Tomorrow, Talksport is live in Bilbao for an all-English affair in the Europa League final. Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United, they may have had atrocious Premier League campaigns by their usual standards, but one of them's going to head home with a piece of European silverware. Will it be Ange Postecoglou or will it be Ruben Amorim? The pressure is on and the stage is set.
The difference between winning and losing this Europa League, much more than the moment of glory.
Nothing is going to save our season, but this can be huge.
I feel like it could be a turning point in terms of the way the club is perceived.
The ramifications for both managers, if it doesn't go the way either team want it to, it's huge.
Surely, if either of these managers win, surely that's a very, very successful season.
Richarlison nodded on, and Tottenham lead. Floats the ball in. Highlands touch is good. Oh, what a strike!
The opportunity to win a first continental trophy since way back in 1984.
What's happening right now is that people are fearing that it actually might happen.
Has only realistic chance of staying as if he wins. and I'm not even sure whether he wants to stay.
Casemiro looking for Maguire.
This is the final, and Man United have been here so often.
I understand the problems of the team, so I'm far from quitting.
Flicks it round the corner. Toby Mainu into the corner.
These are the nights for players to make themselves heroes. The nights the fans never forget. The nights Talksport was made for.
Yeah, we are all over the Europa League final tomorrow. I mentioned that our team are already out in Bilbao, and our chief football correspondent Alex Crook sat in on Spurs boss Ange Postecoglou's press conference this afternoon.
I think the assumption is that your future will be decided purely by the hierarchy in the football club.
My future is assured. Wouldn't be the first person who changes jobs, mate. We all change jobs. I'm sure you've had more than one job. My future's assured. I've got a beautiful family. I've got a great life. I'll keep on winning trophies till I finish, wherever that is. So don't worry about my future, mate. My future is not entwined with anything. Right? My future is assured, provided, God willing, my health remains and my beautiful family is beside me and my friends. There's nothing wrong with my future, mate. Don't stress, mate.
I meant specifically.
Sleep easy at night.
I will try.
I'll be okay.
I will try. But I meant specifically at Tottenham. Is there a scenario where you win the trophy and you think, actually, my job is done here?
No, because I don't think my job is done here. We're just, I really feel like we're building something, and what a trophy does is hopefully accelerates that. So I still think there's a lot of work to be done. That's quite obvious with the way we've sort of, the challenges we've had this year, which I think are well chronicled. But I think there's some reasoning in that, in the context of that. But also there's been some growth that I'd like to see through. But whether that happens or not is not that important right now. But I don't think, far from think this job's finished, and I certainly feel like there's some growth there that we can take this club to where it needs to be.
Ange Postecoglou speaking to Talksport's chief football correspondent Alex Crook. Ange, in defiant mood, he also went on to criticise a writer for the London Evening Standard who called him a clown in the newspaper article. Just shows that managers and players read the papers, they don't ignore them. And Ange was quick to shoot down those accusations of him being a clown. Well, we'll find out tomorrow, Perry, whether he's good to his word and Tottenham do indeed win a trophy in his second season in charge.
Dance, don't add fuel to the fire, because the journalist will be sitting there thinking, yeah, I've got to you. Because I think the terminology was hero or clown. It should have really been hero or zero. You know what I mean? Because I can't remember a game that had a bigger amount of jeopardy for two massive clubs than tomorrow night. Because basically, which either one of them wins the Europa League, or either it's Manchester United, and who would have thought that I'd be supporting Manchester United in a major European final to win a trophy? You have a good season. If you lose, either one loses, it's one of the worst seasons, if not the worst season, that either club have had in their Premier League history. And even going in, because both teams have been relegated before, when football didn't exist before the Premier League, obviously in the old First Division. But Ange saying there that, he thinks he sees progression. If they win it, and he said, I always win a trophy, didn't I, in my second season, he can have a little bit of satisfaction. Spurs and Man United are lucky that the three teams that came up were so bad. Spurs are fourth from bottom in the Premier League. But if he wins a trophy, it saves his season and saves his reputation, because not one Spurs fan will care, Dance, where they come in the league if they win that trophy. If he doesn't, he knows full well he's gone.
It's live on Talksport tomorrow night. All the build-up from 7 inside the stadium with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton, your team, and Alex Crook out there as well. We'll be getting all the interviews with all the headline makers. There are changes being made here, meantime, at Selhurst Park. A double change for Wolves. Raul Gomez and Nelson Semedo are both coming on. Rodrigo Gomez for Semedo is a fairly obvious change in that right wing-back position in the Wolves system. And it's Andre that's gone off to allow João Gomez to enter the fray. And there is a change for Crystal Palace as well. And Justin Devaney, the young Northern Irishman who joined a year ago from Airdrieonians in Scotland, he's going to be coming on as well. And Will Hughes has been given the second half off. So a chance to see what young Justin Devaney can do. He did score a Premier League goal at Villa in November, and he's gone straight into that central midfield berth alongside Jefferson Lerma. And the two Wolves changes are like for like as well, Perry Groves.
Yep, we said there, Semedo will go over and be probably the right wing back, with Aït-Nouri obviously on the left hand side, and João Gomez will just slot straight into the centre midfield area.
So we're ready for the off for the start of the second half. Palace in red and blue will be attacking the Homestall Road end to our right. We're sat at the back of the main stand here, and it's the White Horse Lane end to our left that Wolves will be attacking in there. All gold strip tonight, no black shorts, it's gold shorts as well as the shirts and socks. And it's Eddie Nketiah on a hat-trick tonight, who's rolled it back to Dean Henderson to get the second half underway on Talksport. So I'll run you through the lineups in just a minute now that they've been adjusted. Devaney gets an early touch in this second half, and another substitute, João Gomez, tries to take it off his toe, and there's a free kick. So for Palace now, it's Henderson in goal, Ward, Lacroix and Richards in the back three, Munoz, Lerma, Devaney and Chilwell, Sarr, Essa and Nketiah. And then for Wolves, Bentley the keeper, Giga, Agbadou, Totti in the back, Semedo, Bellegarde, João Gomez and Aït-Nouri, Sarabia, Guedes and Larsson the front three.
Yeah, just looking at Wolves' dance, looks like Semedo is going to go on the right side of the three centre halves. Aït-Nouri has gone out to the right hand side as the right wing back, and Rodrigo Gomez has come over to this left hand side.
Yeah. Interesting switch from Vitor Pereira to try and change things up. So just to confirm, the players that went off, Andre and Giga, forgive me, are the players that went off. So it's a rejig at the back with no Giga in the Wolves back line. Now Sarabia looking to release Rodrigo Gomez, who's switched flanks then for this second half. So he's on the same flank we saw him in on this near touchline of the first half. He's travelling in the opposite direction now on the Wolves left.
I wonder if Vitor Pereira, the Wolves manager, swapped him over, because I mentioned in the first half that Aït-Nouri wasn't tracking Munoz's runs at all and is being a little bit lazy. So perhaps he thinks that bringing Rodrigo Gomez over onto Wolves' left-hand side, obviously Palace's right, that he'll be better defensively against Munoz. And then on the right-hand side for Wolves, then Aït-Nouri goes up against Ben Chilwell.
Here comes Devaney down the Palace right, goes down under pressure from Guedes. No free kick and no Palace throw either. They tried to get both of those things, but David Webb, the referee, unmoved by those pleas, and it's a throw into Wolverhampton Wanderers in their left back position that Rodrigo Gomez will take. Larsson brings the ball down, but it's dispossessed by Munoz, who just stuck his toe in. Now Ismaila Sarr, got three Wolves shirts around him, trying to feed across him from this near side, the right, but Wolves get it back. But João Gomez is now surrounded by red and blue shirts, and they can't get it clear, the visitors. Ward guides the ball back for Lacroix, fires onto the chest of Nketiah, knocks it down well for Essa, who was fouled by Bellegarde, who came in from behind and couldn't dispossess Essa legally. So I'll tell you what, Ben Chilwell might fancy this. It's about 25 to 30 yards out from goal, and Ben Chilwell very quickly grabbed the ball for Crystal Palace. He fancies this. 2-1 Palace.
You know what? Essa's been very lucky there. It was good link-up play, actually. Joel Ward actually just dinked it into Nketiah. Good little chest layoff. And then Essa tries to do a half back heel on the half volley. Misses it completely. Actually kicks his standing foot. That's why he falls over. Bellegarde thinks he's got the ball. The David Webb referee gives a free kick. Who said there, looks like Ben Chilwell fancies it with his left foot.
Wolves are setting up their wall just inside the 18-yard line now that the referee's put the old shaving foam down. Devaney's standing over this free kick as well. He's right-footed, but Ben Chilwell was very swiftly striding over to the spot where the free kick was won to pick up the ball. The referee just having a word with a supplementary Palace wall that's standing to the right of the Wolves wall. There's Sarabia is the draft excluder. Still haven't seen a free kick hit anybody in the draft excluded position since that came into play.
Just have a nice little rest, can't you?
Yes.
Do a bit of yoga, a bit of downward dog, a few stretches.
Bit of pilates, as we call it in Birmingham. Chilwell will have this free kick eventually. Referee just checking that the wall is not encroaching in front of the line he put down on the pitch. Chilwell, left-footed, actually hits the wall and goes in! Palace extend their lead, and Ben Chilwell makes it 3-1. The free kick hit the wall, but deceived Dan Bentley and went beyond his despairing right hand, and Ben Chilwell gets the fans singing loud and proud again at Selhurst Park as the FA Cup winners extend their advantage. Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 1.
Well, Enzo Maresca used to call Chilwell Chilly. He's by no means Chilly Dance. He's actually on fire because he's just hit the free kick. Actually, Dance, it's not a great free kick. He actually hits the centre of the wall, gets a massive deflection. Daniel Bentley's just gone slightly to his left side, can't get his body weight onto his right hand side, goes in very close to that right hand post, puts Crystal Palace 3-1 up. A little bit fortunate because I don't think it was a free kick. Crystal Palace fans don't care. This has been the best week of their lives as a Crystal Palace fan.
And now Ben Chilwell has his first Crystal Palace goal in his 11th appearance on loan from Chelsea, and he's had some very bad times in the not too distant past. I remember doing a Champions League game with Scott Minto at Stamford Bridge where Ben Chilwell had a very serious ACL injury that night, which basically ended his season a couple of years back. He's not in Enzo Maresca's plans, his future uncertain, I would suggest. Maybe there's a permanent home for him here. He's fighting with Tyreek Mitchell for that left-back berth in the Palace squad, but as we said even before kick-off, Perry Groves, Crystal Palace need numbers for next season with a Europa League campaign to think about.
Very much so, and he's a very good pro. You know, he's good around the dressing room. He'd have thought, you mentioned Eddie Nketiah in the first half, obviously got his 2 goals tonight. Those 2 players would have thought, right, we'll go to Crystal Palace. I'll be nailed on to be in the first team. Obviously, Nketiah, a younger player, wants to prove himself. Ben Chilwell's got really nothing to prove. We all know that he can play in the Premier League. And he'd have been disappointed because of the form of Tyreek Mitchell, that he couldn't get himself into the side. But what he's got to do is, he's got to prove when he gets into the side that he's going to be on that level. And tonight, he's done exactly that. Obviously, the goal's the bonus, with a lucky deflection off the wall. But that'll do his confidence the world of good.
Palace 3, Wolves 1 on Talksport 2, and we've played 6 minutes of the second half. And Wolves double change at the break hasn't brought dividends yet. They're now 2 goals behind. Larson, good ball back from 30 yards from goal as he had his back to goal. And now Wolves work it out from right to left, and Rodrigo Gomez tucks it back in field for João Gomez. Then a pull pass from Bellegarde, picked off by Ismail Assar, and he finds Esso in the centre circle. Only Nketiah up with him, tried to thread it through to him, but it was actually comfortably intercepted by Totti Gomez in the back 3. And then Guedes caught late by Deveni. But the referee says play on, and then he will bring the play back because Guedes was caught late by the young Palace substitute, and Wolves will get a free kick on halfway. Palace 3, Wolves 1, Talksport 2, and Palace's final home game is going just the way they would want it.
Yeah, just earlier, SA, we've been waxing lyrical about how good he's been. He actually picked the wrong pass. He should have gone onto his left-hand side where Chil was making a brilliant overlap, and just there it was a little coming together.
Crystal Palace have scored 15 goals in the first 15 minutes of second halves in the Premier League. That's the best tally of anybody in the Premier League, as they've just shown there with that third strike.
Do you think they might have had the proverbial flea in the air at half-time, even though they were 2-1 up? Because Oliver Glasner obviously got very high standards. He might have thought that his team weren't actually applying enough pressure off the ball. They've played a little bit further up the pitch in this second half. They've been a little bit snappier in their challenges.
Maybe. The round of applause you heard just then, incidentally, was for Will Hughes, who's showered and changed and was just striding down the touchline beneath us, back to join his mates on the Palace bench. We saw him play for, I think it was for Watford, wasn't it? When you were saying the only problem Will Hughes has got today is if the wind gets up, he's going to blow his cigar out.
He was that good.
And that was at Championship level, so he's made the step up to Premier League. and he's a very valuable member of this Crystal Palace squad. 3-1 they lead, the Eagles, but Wolves in possession, right hand side with Sarabia, tucks it back for Agbadou, who made a run down the inside right channel but hasn't been used. Wolves tried to keep possession, but Esse, really strong and tenacious in the challenge, wouldn't let Wolves lie just for a moment, and though eventually have to work it back via a throw into halfway. 3-1 to the Eagles. We played nearly 10 minutes of the second half on Talksport 2.
You know, sometimes we say about managers overcomplicating things, and obviously they've changed the wing backs with Rodrigo Gomez coming on the left hand side, Nate going on the right. Ait Nouri's best position is he's one of Wolves' best players, if you say with Cunha as well, on the left hand side. Why do managers overcomplicate stuff?
He's come in field, Ait Nouri, from the right hand side and finds Guedes looking for Rodrigo Gomez on that left hand side that Ait Nouri was patrolling first half, kept in play and sent back to Bellegarde on the halfway line, who's being hassled and harried by Devaney. Too much hassling and harrying from Devaney, says the referee. So Wolves take a short free kick. Bellegarde saw a run of Larson being made inside left channel but didn't use him. Instead he played the ball square to Semedo. Now Ait Nouri making a run inside right channel, but it's headed away, come to play by Lacroix. Chilwell, who's just scored that third goal for the hosts, can't keep it in play. Throw for Wolves in front of their own supporters in that far corner of the Arthur Waite stand opposite us. Palace have got a great record against Wolves recently. They won 6 of their last 8 against these opponents and won their last 4 in a row here at Selhurst, heading for a 5th win in a row here too, on a night of pure joy and celebration for those who follow this South London club. Here's Bellegarde in the centre circle though for Wolves. Straight ball into the feet of Larson, holds it up well, tucks it back to Ait Nouri. He's very central now for the visitors. Joao Gomez gives it back to Ait Nouri.
Look at Ait Nouri there. He's decided he's got fed up on that right hand side because he's not been getting himself in the game. So he's decided himself he's going to come and be an inverted midfield player to get himself on the ball.
And then Semedo passes the ball straight out of play. I think you saw an old gold shirt that was actually in the front row of the Arthur Waite stand. Thought that was his teammate to pass to and not Pablo Sarabia.
To be fair, I think it was a really good run by the supporter.
It was.
He just bent his run, he was well onside, just need a better ball.
Good balance with the pie as well. Wolves' record in final away games of the season is absolutely dreadful. They've lost each of their last 8 final away games in the Premier League. And they're heading for 9 as things stand, but long ball floated downfield looking for Larson at the right hand corner of the area, but Richards there to comfortably nod it clear for Crystal Palace. Semedo knocks it down for Bellegarde. Joao Gomez loses out. Devaney straight onto the halfway line with the ball at his feet, but good pressure sends it out to this near side of Munoz, and he keeps it in play and finds Devaney again, who rolls it into central midfield for Jefferson Lerma.
Yeah, I think Joao Gomez went a bit too early there. He thought he'd slid in and tackled Devaney. The ball's going out of play, but it came to Munoz, able to recycle it, and then Palace give it away cheaply.
Now Sarabia headed to the right hand corner of the penalty area for Wolves, slides it into the edge of the box, and Bellegarde slid in himself at the 18-yard line, tried to toe poke it towards goal, but came off the outside of his boot and out for a goal kick. You are listening to Crystal Palace 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget that you can stream the biggest Premier League games available with no contract on now, like Manchester City against Bournemouth live at the moment. Just search Now Sports for all the details. Perry Groves alongside me tonight at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the young lad Devaney who's come on. He's added that sort of bit of impetus, you know, bit of fresh legs, bit of enthusiasm. He did really well there, because when the ball was pulled back to Bellegarde, if he doesn't trap back and get close to him and put him under pressure, Bellegarde gets a free shot. He's had a few little challenges, isn't he, where he was a bit late on actually Bellegarde.
Again, it's an example of good scouting from Crystal Palace, picking him up from Airdrie in the Scottish leagues. Now Nketiah's just been fouled by Totti Gomez, and Totti picks up a yellow card for that challenge on the Palace striker. Just sent him crumbling to the turf midway point of the half. So Palace have a free kick, 3-1 up.
Yeah, I think that's just a case of totting up for Totti, because it wasn't, I don't think, a yellow card. It was just a coming together, tangled feet with Nketiah. But David Webb decides, the referee, that he's committed too many fouls, gives the free kick just in the probably 10 yards in from the right-hand touchline.
So Chilwell is going to take it. He's not going to go for goal like he did with the free kick he scored from early in this second half, and he's just looking to the bench to say, what am I doing with this one?
I think maybe ease it in with your left foot in swinging with a little bit of pace in between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box.
Wolves defending just in front of the penalty spot. Chilwell standing over it, left-footed delivery, clipped into the box at pace. Went beyond Larson. We thought Larson was going to head it clear, completely missed it. And Palace tried to win it back through Essa. It's thumped downfield at the end by Guedes. Across comes Munoz, who was on halfway on the cover, and puts it out of play for a throw to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then looks to his defender to say, where were you? I needed you. 3-1 Palace.
Yeah, it was a poor free kick from Ben Chilwell. Again, it was a really strange header from Agbadou. It looked like he was going to head the ball and he sort of ducked. Then a few little ricochets and Wolves managed to clear it out to the right-hand side where Munoz came in, gave the throw-in away, which enabled Wolves to recycle possession.
Ball fired into the feet of Pablo Sarabia just over the halfway line. Nori picks it up for Wolves and drives with great purpose to the edge of the area. Slipped it to his left. Rodrigo Gomez with a drive blocked by Lacroix. Comes out to João Gomes. Lovely ball across to the right-hand side. Larson tried to feed onto a cross from Sarabia, and it's put behind for a corner kick to Wolves. So suddenly the visitors came flying forward, 3-1 down.
Really good play by Nori, just cutting in from his right-hand side, running out to Rodrigo Gomez, and then it was Munoz who made sure that he got out. It's the old long barrier dance where obviously you go down on one knee and it hits his left calf, gets a really good block in.
Corner from the far side of the field at the White Horse Lane stand. It's gone out for another corner where the White Horse Lane meets the main stand, and Bellegarde's going across to take it, a right-footed in-swinger to come for Wolves. 3-1 down they are. And a few Palace subs warming up like the unmistakable figure of the striker Jean-Philippe Mateta. Maybe we'll see him before too long. Wolves corner then. Bellegarde with it into the near post. Headed goals by Larson. They got one back. Jørgen Strand Larsen keeps his excellent goal-scoring form going for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Good corner from Bellegarde, picked out his man just inside the 6-yard box, and a firm header from Jørgen Strand Larsen makes it 7 goals in his last 8 from the Norwegian. And there's only 1 goal in it. Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2.
Yeah, as you said, a really good corner from Bellegarde from the left-hand side, in swinging with his right foot. Then Strand Larsen just comes off of his marker. Eddie Nketiah should be going to engage the ball. He doesn't. Strand Larsen just redirects the header with his forehead across Dean Henderson low into his left-hand post. Really good header from Strand Larsen, just using the pace of the ball to redirect it. Poor defending from Crystal Palace. Jeopardy back in the game. Crystal Palace 3-2 up.
With just over an hour played, and Palace have made a substitution before the restart. Ismail Assar has gone off for the lesser-spotted Matheus França, the Brazilian who's only made 5 appearances in all competitions this season. Former Flamengo man. He's on. Straight away, Nketiah trying to make a nuisance of himself after the restart, but he handled the ball at the edge of the area. So Wolves get themselves a free kick. Thoroughly entertaining game at Selhurst Park, and we've still got half an hour of it to bring you on Talksport 2.
Yeah, Dan, we did say before the game that there would be goals, because both teams are not really snapping into tackles. They're letting the other team play when they're in possession. And we said about Wolves' poor defensive record away in London Premier League games. It's the 24th game on the trot that they're conceded. They've actually conceded 53 goals in those 24 games.
But they're in this particular match. 3-2 to Palace on Talksport 2. Still 2-0 to Manchester City against Bournemouth over on Talksport. Europa League final tomorrow night on Talksport. Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United. Build up across the day on Talksport. Here's João Gomes for Wolves, who are steaming forward again, but they've lost out, and França gets involved for the first time, darts away down the left-hand side, holds the play up, is looking for a player in field, but Wolves smuggle the ball back into their own possession, and it's back with Daniel Bentley. And the Holmesdale Ultras keeping the atmosphere at a nice noisy level here in South London.
At the moment it's just Crystal Palace retreating into their 5-4-1 defensive shape, and without the ball just leaving Nketiah up front, letting Wolves have possession deep in their own half.
Well, Vitor Pereira won't want 3 straight defeats to follow 6 successive wins, so don't believe for a moment that Wolves are just going to coast away through the rest of this game. Rodrigo Gomez has just gone in for a 50-50 challenge with Joel Ward, who stayed down, and he doesn't want his final home game at Palace to end with a nasty injury, but I think he's going to be able to get up without needing any physio treatment. And we are led to believe that there's going to be a guard of honour for Joel Ward at the end of the game tonight, once everyone's exited the pitch. And we may well hear from the man who runs Crystal Palace, Chief Executive Steve Parish, may well get on the mic and have something to say. Now, Jørgen Strand Larsen's also sat on his backside midway point of the Palace half, who's just got Wolves back into the game with that header, and he appears to have a problem that he's picked up off the ball. Perry Groves.
Yeah, looks like it might be a muscular problem, and I'm not going to say, that it looks really serious or is in distress, because I said that on Saturday at the London Stadium when Murillo, when he was actually put in the golf buggy cart, where he was virtually in tears. Looked like it was, his summer was over, he was going to be in for rehab all summer, and then second half comes, he comes running out, he's the first one sprinting out, and he plays not 45 minutes, he plays 55 minutes, 10 minutes of added on time.
There's going to be a couple of subs made by Wolves shortly. Munetsi and Cunha are going to be coming on, and Larsen is not going to be able to continue, and they're also going to bring Sarabia off as well. So Marshall Munetsi, another player signed from Rennes, as well as Agbadou, he's going to be on. He's been playing as a false 9 at times for Wolves this season. And the intriguing figure of Matheus Cunha, who is still being given his props by his manager Vitor Pereira, but I think we would assume, wouldn't we, Perry Groves, that his days wearing the old gold and black are numbered.
Yep, because everybody knows about the talent that he has. He's one of those maverick talents, Dan. I'm just worried about sometimes his disciplinary record isn't the best, but it's been well documented that Manchester United might be in for him.
Well, we saw it at Bournemouth, didn't we? The red card he picked up in the FA Cup tie.
To be fair, he could have had 3 red cards in the space of, a minute and a half.
Yes. Slightly hot-headed that day at the Vitality. So he's on, and so too is Munetsi. We've gone straight into central midfield. Sarabia has gone off for Wolves, as well as Larsen, who hopefully will be available for Wolves' final game of the season. Palace go to Liverpool on the final day of the campaign on Sunday.
Do you think there might be a bit of a Russ Abbott there? A bit of atmosphere, do you think?
I think so. It'll be a great atmosphere. Munetsi trying to get a foot in, get Wolves going. It's at the edge of the area. Cunha, great quick feet, tries to get a shot away, blocked by Richards. Wolves try and win it back. Essa brings it away though. Munoz looks for Essa again on this near touchline, drifting towards the halfway line, runs into trouble, and Wolves get it back. Joao Gomez into the feet of Ait Nouri, goes to ground, he was challenged, fouled, and a yellow card is it for Deveni? It is going to be a yellow card, not for Deveni, but I think for Joel Ward on his final night gets a yellow card for that challenge.
Yeah, just a little bit late there. Joel Ward exactly was doing good feet from Ait Nouri, just getting it from underneath his feet with his left foot. And just looking at Cunha has come on, obviously for the 22 minutes of normal time, this sort of game will suit him down to the ground.
And he'll take a free kick into the Crystal Palace box. Agbadou heads it across the 6-yard line, claimed by Dean Henderson. I can tell you it's still 2-0 to Manchester City against Bournemouth over on Talksport. Mateo Kovacic has just been given a straight red card at the Etihad, and Pep Guardiola also subbed off Kevin De Bruyne on his final home game in the 68th minute. I'm sure he got a standing ovation from those in attendance. Probably got a standing ovation from those next door at the Co-op Live where Bruce Springsteen's playing.
And he probably got a standing ovation from the Bournemouth players as well, because that's how good Kevin De Bruyne has been for Man City.
End of an era for one of the best central midfielders, attacking midfielders we've seen in the Premier League. Now Chilwell lets the ball run out of play because he knows he's got a throw. Daichi Kamada, the Japanese midfielder, is going to come on now for Crystal Palace, getting some final instructions, and this gives a chance for the whole stadium to get to its feet and acclaim Joel Ward on his final night, and he waves to the Holmesdale Ultras and will now make his way off the field. Gets a hug from Chris Richards, and he just kneels down on the halfway line, looks to the heavens, points to the skies, and now will make his way off the field to a standing ovation from all those in red and blue. Waves to all four corners of the stadium, and they're all surrounding him, the Palace players, all giving him warm embraces as Joel Ward comes to the end of his Crystal Palace career.
Yeah, very emotional for Joel Ward. He's actually in tears, just clapping all four corners of Selhurst Park. You can hear the massive cheer because these Crystal Palace fans, an appreciative round of applause, cheers for the 13-year service. Has a massive hug from Dean Henderson.
Yeah, he's just given him the captain's armband as well, Joel Ward. One last big hug from Maxence Lacroix, blowing a kiss to the crowd as Joel Ward exits stage left.
Kamada's waiting to come on, going, all right mate, don't milk it, I've been doing my stretches and my warm up here.
And now a hug from his manager as well, Oliver Glasner, as Ward makes his way to the near touchline, still wiping away the tears. Will Hughes next in for a big old hug, and Joel Ward will be celebrated even more after the full-time whistle. I do believe that there will be a guard of honour for him after the full-time whistle. Remind you about his length of service. 363 appearances since his 2012 move from Portsmouth. And one Joel Ward rings around Selhurst Park. As Palace come forward, it's Munoz, right-hand corner of the area, steps inside onto his left, it's blocked away. Devaney gets a shot away straight at Bentley, went right down his throat in the centre of the goal, half a yard either side of him. That could have been 4-2.
Yeah, when the ball's rolled across to Munoz, he should have taken the shot with his right foot first time, just cuts back inside. That enables Ain't Nouri to come and close him down. Comes to Devaney, just on the edge of the D, gets it onto his left foot. I think he's trying to bend it low down to Dan Bentley's right hand side. In the end, he just whips it back straight to Dan Bentley in the middle of the goal. Simple save for the goalkeeper. Just look at Crystal Palace. Kamada will go into midfield dance in one of the two midfield players, and Jefferson Lerma will just go into that left hand slot of the three centre halves.
You're listening to Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2 for the latest odds. Head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Palace to win at 11-4 on, Wolves to win at 11-1 against, the draw priced at 3-1. That's all thanks to William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Looking at Joel Ward dance, obviously he hasn't played as many games this season as he'd like to, but as a senior player, they're priceless. Players like that, with the attitude, the culture they set around the dressing room, the standards that they set. You see the hug he had there with Oliver Glasner, the Crystal Palace manager. He will be indebted to him because he wouldn't have caused any problems at all. He knows that he's got Crystal Palace in his heart, and then that seeps into the other players.
Voice of Perry Groves alongside me, Ian Danter, here at Selhurst Park, where we have 73 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2. Wolves were 1-0 up and then 3-1 down as Palace went through the gears, but got themselves back into it, the visitors, and they're in possession on the halfway line with one of their second half substitutes, Joao Gomez. Plays it to his right for Bellegarde. Now out to the right-hand side. Oh, Aït-Nouri got that all wrong, trying to flick it round the back of his right heel to try and get Bellegarde away down the right, but it just went straight out of play for a Palace throw.
We're just looking at Wolves' point of view. If they can obviously dominate possession like they have done, they've got to look to get it into Munetsi and Cunha, both playing as the 10s behind Guedes, who's playing as the false 9.
Ball's back with Daniel Bentley being pressurised by Nketiah. Slid in as the Wolves keeper got it clear to Totti. Out to this near side, and Rodrigo Gomez being pressurised by Essa. Plays the ball along the 18-yard line from left to right, but he picks out Agbadou. Fires into the feet of Bellegarde. Faced up by França. Tucks it back for João Gomez, who's just splitting the centre halves for the moment. Totti brings the game down to walking pace and knocks it back in field for João Gomez as he approaches the halfway line. Don't forget the Europa League final tomorrow on Talksport. Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur at the San Mamés in Bilbao. And our team is in Bilbao. You'll hear from Adrian Durham and Dean Ashton and Alex Crook and Jim Proudfoot across the day on Talksport during breakfast and White and Jordan and Hawksby and Jacobson drive, and then the whole game. And we're in the stadium from 7. Lewis Cook's been sent off for Bournemouth, so 10 against 10 at the Etihad with Manchester City 2-0 up. Kovacic dismissed earlier. And loads of guests on breakfast tomorrow talking about the final. Paul Whitehouse, Spurs fan and brilliant stand-up comic and great fisherman. He'll be there to talk about his love of Spurs. And Dwight York on Manchester United and Mikel Silvestre. They'll be joining the boys as well. And Gareth Bale will be on drive tomorrow afternoon with Goldstein and Bent to give a Spurs perspective on what might happen in Bilbao tomorrow night. Don't have to go anywhere else but Talksport for all the build-up across the day, full live commentary of the whole final.
So could you get two different games with two different atmospheres? There's no jeopardy in this game at all, apart from professional pride, obviously, and maybe a position further up the Premier League where you get another £3 million. There's huge jeopardy tomorrow night, and let's be honest, Ants, nobody knows how that game's going to go. No one's got a clue.
No. Oh, lovely skill on halfway by João Gomez to get away from Essa and Devaney. Plays a square ball into the centre of midfield for Guedes. Turns away from Jefferson Lerma. Lobbed into the box by Cunha, looking for the run of Aït-Nouri. Half cleared. Guedes on the volley. What a save! What a save from Dean Henderson to push it away, because Guedes hit that superbly. That looked destined for the near post corner. Kept out brilliantly by Dean Henderson. Wolves still have it. Cunha slides it down the right-hand side of the box. Semedo lets it run across his body. Guedes again tries to drive, but no power that time, and Palace bring it clear.
Brilliant save from Dean Henderson. Big, strong right palm.
And Palace trying to bring the ball downfield, lose out. Munetsi on halfway, squares the ball to his right for Aït-Nouri. Bellegarde's gone up on his outside, midway point of the half. Looks to send an early ball. Munetsi has gone forward into the area, but Richards heads clear. Kamada fires it downfield now, and Nketiah gets away down the left-hand side for Palace. Needs support. There's three players trying to get up with him in red and blue. Nketiah is dispossessed by Agbadou, stayed on his feet down the right-hand side of his penalty area and wasn't to be fooled by the drop of the shoulder. 3-2.
You know, Nketiah didn't really believe he was going to go past Agbadou there, did he? Because he had it out on the left-hand side. It took too long to cut in, and when he tried to drop his shoulder, Agbadou just read it like a book, just stepped across him, took it away from him. I think with Nketiah, he's got to start his run earlier and actually attack Agbadou diagonally.
Ball into the Palace box, but it's allowed to bounce through to Dean Henderson, who made a sensational save to deny Gonzalo Guedes just a minute or so ago. We got 12 minutes to play at Selhurst Park on Talksport 2. Still Palace 3, Wolves 2. Wang's going to be on shortly for Wolves for another attacking option, and Henderson clears the ball from hands at the edge of his own penalty area, looking for Munoz on this near side. Strong header downfield by Totti, but Richards will let that drift out of play for a throw down the left-hand side. And it is Guedes, who's just had that wonderful effort saved by Henderson, who's going to be taken off to allow the Korean Hwang Hee-chan to come on.
It's a brilliant volley from Guedes on the right-hand edge of the 18-yard box, but it all started because Cunha picked the ball up in the 10 position. That's a little dink pass trying to hit over top of Lacroix, who had to go full sets to head it, and that's why it dropped to Guedes.
Devaney gives the ball away, picked up by Bellegarde. 3-2 to Wolves. Guedes on this tried to volley it downfield for the run of Rodrigo Gomez, but Palace win it back. Good ball from Devaney, cross from right to left to pick out Chilwell, who can get over the halfway line and then just feed it further down the left for Matías França. França running at Semedo, left-hand corner of the area, comes inside, gets the shot away, and it's actually quite a comfortable save at his near post for Daniel Bentley. 3-2 it stays.
Yeah, couldn't quite get it from underneath his feet. França cutting him from this left-hand side, just trying to cut inside. Semedo does a couple of Michael Flatley footovers, gets it onto his right foot, and he should be starting the ball probably about 2 or 3 yards outside Bentley's left-hand post. Just ends up trying to hit it to the left-hand post and then curls it into Bentley. Simple save. But just looking, say from Wolves' point of view, who said there, the manager Vitor Pereira will want to stop the rot, not lose 3 games on the trot.
Well, here's Cunha coming forward trying to do something about that. Finds Manetzi, turns at the edge of the area, and the right-footed shot is tipped over brilliantly by Henderson for a Wolves corner as Manetzi turned, swiveled and hit in one movement at the edge of the area. And actually, in fact, it wasn't Henderson that got the save, it was a touch off the defender Jefferson Lerma. But before the corner's taken, double change for Palace. No hat-trick for Eddie Nketiah, but he does have 2 to his name here at Selhurst Park tonight. That'll do him the power of good. And he's going to come off to allow Jean-Philippe Mateta to add a very different dynamic to Crystal Palace's forward play. And just to avoid any confusion, Eze is coming on for Eze.
And we actually breathe a sigh of relief.
We do. And for the first time in a while, I can't see Jean-Philippe Mateta wearing any kind of headgear after the injury here against Millwall in the FA Cup, where he collided with Liam Roberts, the Millwall keeper, and picked up that really nasty injury to his ear. So unburdened by any protection around his head, Mateta's first job is to help defend this Wolverhampton Wanderers corner. It's about to be taken where the White Horse Lane then meets the Arthur Waite stand. Ait Nouri whips it in left-footed into the near post. Cunha tried to get there first, but a Palace player got there in front of him, so it's another corner in the same position.
Yeah, it's a good header by França at the near post, making sure he's just zonal when it comes to his area, attacking the ball.
9 minutes to go, 3-2 Palace, but Wolves have another corner at the White Horse Lane in. Ait Nouri again, left-footed delivery, flicked on by Cunha, but over the bar, couldn't keep it down. Goal kick to the hosts, and the seconds tick away on Talksport 2.
We just mentioned obviously about Wolves' 2 number 10s, Manetzi and Cunha. It was those two who linked up, and Cunha got himself on the ball in the inside left position, then rolled it into Manetzi, who was on the edge of the D. So his shot got a deflection off Jefferson Lerma. So that's what Wolves will be looking to do, get it into those two, see if they can create something out of nothing.
Well, Eze, the winning goal scorer at Wembley on Saturday, 7 goal involvements in his last 7 Premier League games as well for Eze, 5 goals and 2 assists. Here's Mateta trying to bulldoze his way down the right hand side, but Totti stood up well and won it back for Wolves just outside his own penalty area. Bellegarde rolls it back for the Wolves keeper Bentley, who can take a touch and finds Agbadou, and Totti slides it into the left-hand channel for Ait Nouri. He's gone back out to the left-hand side now. They've switched things round, but here is Matías França. Oh, he loses his footing as he got away down the right-hand side. Nobody near him, just slipped over like me doing dancing on ice, and he was gone. Here's Manetzi, spots the run down the right-hand side of Rodrigo Gomez, flicks it forward looking for Cunha. Great defensive header by Jefferson Lerma, once again in that left-sided centre-half position as he was on Saturday at Wembley. Looks like a natural centre-half to me, the way he plays like that. Very gross.
Yeah, he just looked very comfortable, especially slotting into that left-hand slot, and he's obviously right-footed, a bit like Mark Gurhey as well, right-footed, playing at the left-hand side.
Ball's out of play for a Wolves throw. Palace were trying to counter, but the flag had long since gone up. Wolves tried to take a quick throw using the multi-ball system, but the first ball was still out on the halfway line. 7 minutes to go. You're listening to Crystal Palace 3, Wolves 2 on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you. Wolves have won a corner at the White Horse Lane end again as they try valiantly to find this equaliser. 3-2 down they are. Ait-Nouri going across to that far side to take it. Be a left-footed delivery. And again, there's a run being made by Joao Gomez along the byline. He's going to be used by Ait-Nouri. Fires it back to Ait-Nouri. Now at the right-hand corner of the area. Gets it away from one player. Went down and Joao Gomez couldn't pick up the loose ball. Much to the Wolves bench's frustration. Chilwell lays it back to Lerma, who just fires the ball downfield. Drifts out of play away from the attentions of Eze for a throw into Wolves. 3-2 Palace.
It'll be frustrating if you're Agbadou and Totti, where you've gone all the way up obviously to hopefully get on the end of a cross, and Wolves play a little 2v1, and that all was so sloppy from Joao Gomez, because when you put the ball back to Ait-Nouri, just put too much on it. That made Ait-Nouri stretch. Palace were able to just come out another 4 or 5 yards, go and engage the ball, get a little toe in, and now they've pushed Wolves all the way back to the edge of their own 18-yard box.
Crystal Palace have a parade next Bank Holiday Monday in South London. The route and the timings haven't been confirmed yet, but party's already very much underway. Oh, lovely layout from Mateta. Eze's clear if Benny can find him. Eze picks it up at the edge of the area. Semedo facing him up. Eze rolling across the area and makes it 4 with a delightfully cool finish. Having won the game at Wembley, he's surely sealed the points tonight with his 8th goal involvement in 8 Premier League games. That's 6 goals in his last 8. Everetti Eze takes the acclaim of the Holmesdale end. A Palace hero, to be sure. It's now Palace 4, Wolves 2.
Yeah, Agbadou, the Wolves centre half, gets caught in possession. Then Palace turn it over very, very quickly. Comes out to Eze on this left-hand side. Semedo 1v1. There's one player you don't want to be with, is Eze when he's 1v1. Just make sure that he takes his time, cuts inside Semedo, takes another touch. Then can he get the right shot off? Exactly he can, because he puts it back where he's come from. Bentley's going to his left-hand side, can't transfer his weight onto his right-hand side, just rolls into the far corner. Brilliant finish from Everetti Eze. He was never not going to score that. As soon as he got the ball, he knew he'd end up back of the net. So I was going to say let's get this party started at Sellers Park, but it probably started about 3:30.
Probably started about 7 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So that Eze goal came less than 5 minutes after he came on as a substitute for Crystal Palace. 3.5 minutes of normal time to go, and that 4th goal, I had a quick look down at the dugouts. There wasn't much. There was a bit of celebration on the Palace bench, but there was absolute fury on the Wolves bench that 4th goal went in, about the way they defended it.
I think it was more frustration with Agbadou actually being caught in possession. Mateta did really well, just picked his pocket. And when Mateta comes, and Nketiah has been really good obviously in this game. He's got his 2 goals. You've got 2 different players. Nketiah obviously is a player who likes to sort of run in behind, and run laterally, where Mateta gives you more of a physical presence up front.
4-2 here. 3-0 to Manchester City over on Talksport against Bournemouth. Nico Gonzalez gets the 3rd for the Citizens late on. Mateta wins a throw in front of the Palace fans in the Arthur Waite stand opposite us. We've got 2.5 minutes of normal time to play on Talksport 2 here at Crystal Palace, and we'll stay on air for a little while after the full-time whistle, so we can bring you the guard of honour for Joel Warden. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you a little message to the fans on the pitch from CEO Steve Parish about what the future holds, I assume, for Crystal Palace. Long throw into the area, headed away by Benetzi for Wolves. Lerma gives it back to Kamada. Kamada lobs the ball into the area. Up goes França. Doesn't come off his head. It actually came off the head of Ryan Ait-Nouri and through to Bentley. 4-2 to Crystal Palace. And they will go to Anfield on Sunday afternoon for another free and easy afternoon of football, I should imagine, that will be very, very enjoyable to watch.
So did Liverpool give Crystal Palace a guard of honour onto the pitch first, and then Palace then give Liverpool a guard of honour onto the pitch?
I don't know. Flip of a coin, maybe. Here's Cunha on halfway. Gives it back to Totti. Agbadou tries to fire the ball down the centre of the pitch for Menezzi, who's made a strong run, but Henderson's able to come to the edge of his penalty area and claim it quite comfortably. Fans loving that.
And also just a massive round of applause and appreciation for Dean Henderson, because, as I say, he was like the octopus on Saturday. Pulled off 5 world-class saves, pulled off a brilliant save here tonight as well from Guedes' volley, where the game was in the balance. Tipped it over the bar with a big right palm.
Former Manchester United academy player and his former team are in the Europa League final tomorrow, live on Talksport in Bilbao. Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspur. Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton, along with Adrian Durham and our chief football correspondent Alex Crook, will all be in the stadium for that one. Hwang for Wolves, who's had very little to do since coming on as a substitute. We're heading towards the end of the 90 minutes. We're about to find out there's going to be 6 minutes of minimum stoppage time to come. Cunha, neat turn on this near touchline, works in field for Joao Gomez, who tried to thread the ball through for the run of Hwang, but it was won back by Palace. Eze twisting and turning and pirouetting midway point of his own half, but tricked himself in the end. The Wolves can't win it back properly, and then França clips the ball down the right hand side. Out comes Bentley. Offside flag's gone up against a Palace player anyway, so Wolves have themselves a free kick.
6 minutes. They're just looking at Wolves, Dan. You mentioned about Hwang dropping a bit deeper there. He hadn't been involved. Obviously, he's gone now through the middle as a centre forward for Wolves. And Guedes goes out onto the right wing back position.
Cunha fires it out to Guedes on the right hand side. Now back it goes infield for Agbadou. Totti Gomez to his left. Hwang has again come a little bit deeper to receive possession, but Richards tracking him all the way. Back it goes to Agbadou once more in the centre circle. Here's a diagonal ball left to right, looking to pick out Guedes, who's up against Chilwell. Got the header in field, but could only find Jefferson Lerma. That's lobbed clear. Eze looks to find Mateta, but that's a slightly lazy ball with the outside of his boot along the halfway line, and Wolves win it back. Munetsi loses out to Kamada. Lofted forward again, looking for Eze, but it's well defended by Semedo.
Yeah, just a little bit lackadaisy there from Eberechi Eze. He thought that Mateta was going to come and show, to just flicked it inside, just give the ball away cheaply.
Stand up if you love Palace is the shout all around us here. It's normally stand up if you love the darts. There we go, we've got Premier League darts on Thursday night, the final night of action to decide who goes to the O2 in London a week on Thursday for the finals.
And that's normally stand up at the Ali Pally rather than the Palace.
Indeed. Here's asking for a wave from Oliver Glasner, but he just points to say where he wants the ball, and it's Jean-Philippe Mateta. There's a break on here for Palace. Mateta up against Totti, up to the edge of the area, tries to lay it off for Eze inside the D. França tried to dummy it to allow Muniz to have a shot to goal, but there wasn't enough pace on the ball to allow the dummy to work for him.
Yeah, just overplaying there from Crystal Palace. Mateta just finding it into Eze, then trying to put it into França. Maybe Eze should have taken the shot on. That enabled Wolves to get back, because at one stage had a 4v2.
Cunha rolls it to the right-hand corner of the box. Guedes in space, pulls it back. Cunha just couldn't take the ball in his stride, and Lerma flicks the ball out to the left-hand side, and Kamada keeps the ball in play. Does he? No, he's conceded a throw to Wolverhampton Wanderers. So it's still end-to-end action here. This game is definitely not petering out. And Wolves that's pretty much a 4-on-2 that Crystal Palace had there coming forward.
Yeah, so they just picked the wrong passes, just held on to the ball just a little bit too long. Eze should have got his shot away.
And finally the Palace fans get their wish. They get a wave and a thumbs up. Oliver Glasner say, sorry, I was thinking a bit too much. I couldn't hear you. I'm concentrating too much.
I'm the consummate professional. I don't want to take your adulation, but I'll blow your kisses anyway.
Well played, Oliver Glasner. And now they're singing his name again as Mateta tries to bulldoze his way down the Palace left. He's running to Totti Gomez again. We've played 3.5 minutes of the minimum 6 that have been added on Talksport 2. Palace 4-2 up. Mateta on halfway. Ezra's made a run ahead of him. Mateta turns and then feeds it out to Eberechi as he left-hand side. Drives a lovely diagonal ball into the box. Picked up by Munoz. Oh, he tried to fire it on the half volley from a very tight angle. Got right underneath it and it's a Wolves goal kick. 4-2.
Yeah, the game's really opened out, Dan. There's a few tired legs there. Brilliant ball from Eberechi from that left-hand side. Just cross-field ball into Munoz. I thought initially, Dan, that Munoz was going to go for glory and hit it on the volley. Decided to take a touch. Got it down. Should be going across Dan Bentley. Missed the target.
Devenny's won it back strongly. Here's França approaching the edge of the area, right-hand side. Again, can't get past his defender and slipped and went to ground. He's had a couple of slips since coming on. Needs a longer stud, Matthias França. And Wolves have it back with Cunha.
He's been like a Springer Spaniel puppy on lino, hasn't he?
A Springer Spaniel puppy on lino, right? Oh yeah, yeah. Or a flagstone floor. Long ball downfield from Agbadou looking for Cunha, but very nice defensive header from Richards. Fired into the path of Devenny, who looks early for Eberechi Eze as Palace come downfield once again. Eze up to the edge of the D, fires it into Mateta, takes the touch, takes the shot, brilliantly saved by Bentley, but Palace still have it. Munoz for the dead ball line. Eze tries to play it to the far post for Mateta, claimed by Bentley again to prevent Wolves going even further behind. 4-2.
Brilliant link-up play, Crystal Palace. Devenny initially in the centre circle, puts it out to Eze, cutting it again on this left-hand side, just gets whatever he gets it to Mateta, takes one touch, should be going back across Bentley, tries going it near post, really good save from Bentley, high to his left-hand side.
So we played 5.5 minutes of the minimum 6 that have been added on, approaching the full-time whistle. Wolves in possession with Hwang Hee-chan. Wolves will be at home to Brentford on the final day of the season at Molineux. They've got a free kick. Played quickly backwards to square to Totti. Rolls it along the halfway line for Agbadou. Seems like a long time ago since he gave Wolves the lead. Richards again nods the long ball downfield clear. And the referee will bring matters to a close just as Palace were coming forward. But at the end of a home campaign, this game could have been any score you like and the Palace fans would not have cared. But as it turns out, they've signed off at Selhurst with 3 points and a 4-2 win against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Joel Ward playing his final home game for the club. Subbed in the second half, moved to tears. Eddie Nketiah got a brace for Crystal Palace in the first half after Agbadou had given Wolves a lead. Ben Chilwell's deflected free kick early in the second half made it 3-1. Jurgen Strand Larsen headed Wolves back into the game just past the hour for 3-2. But then less than 5 minutes after coming on as a sub, the man who scored the winner at Wembley on Saturday, Eberechi Eze, calmly rolled home a fourth, and now the party really can start in South London. Crystal Palace 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.
Absolute pleasure to be here, Dan. It's an absolute honour for these Crystal Palace fans. They came in to enjoy themselves tonight, no matter what the score was. So their team delivered from on the pitch. And what a 4 days the players have had, Oliver Glasner and his coaching staff have had, the fans have had. Say the best probably 4 days that have been in Crystal Palace's history. Just seeing all the players now just embracing in the centre circle. There was nothing obviously on it for the Wolves players apart from professional pride, and to be fair, Dan, they did put in the right effort that they should put in. They thought they got themselves back into it, and Strand Larsen put them back at 3-2 down from an in-swing and Bellegarde corner. Then Oliver Glasner just made his substitutes, and Eberechi Eze come on, found himself out on the left-hand side, 1v1 up against Semedo. He was never not going to score. That just put the game to bed. And I was going to say it allowed the Palace fans to enjoy themselves, but as you said, that they've been enjoying themselves since 7 o'clock on Saturday. And they probably haven't come down yet. Just a massive high. That'll carry over to Anfield on Sunday as well.
Well, the Palace players are in the centre circle and just around that. Wolves players have gone across to their supporters in the upper weight stand to thank them for their attendance. And don't try and tell me that these games don't matter, even when there's nothing riding on it in terms of positions in the table or European qualification places, because when that fourth Palace goal went in, I noticed just how angry the Wolves bench were conceding that fourth. So whilst they were obviously happy to participate in an open game of football, still want to win it.
Well, Dad, that means they've lost 3 on the trot after winning like the 6 before that. And say Vitor Pereira, the reason that he was so frustrated, because he could tell that his Wolves team would get himself back into the game. Then Agbadou just brought the ball out from the back, got caught in possession by Mateta just gives it to Devaney, who did really well in the second half when he came on, got himself an assist for Ezra's goal. So again, that's personal professional pride from Vitor Pereira, because he doesn't want to see his team lose 3 on the spin.
So Crystal Palace solidify their 12th place. They could still get 10 if results go their way on Sunday. On to 52 points. Wolves 41 points, stay in 14th. When we come back shortly, we'll bring you a guard of honour for the Palace captain this evening, Joel Ward, as he signs off. He's currently arm in arm with Oliver Glasner as they come off the pitch. And we'll also hopefully hear from Steve Parish. We're here on Premier League Live on Talksport 2. The full-time score will be back here shortly, where it finished Crystal Palace 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2.